Good morning. I say good morning because it's always early. Uh, Yesterday was the first day of school, and usually it's for me it's a national parent holiday because the kids get to be out of the house, all of them. But my twins are now in high school, which means they get on the bus at 6:40. And Ellis, who's the baby, who's 6, is in the first grade, and he doesn't get on the bus until 9:05. So there's a large gap, which has thrown off our morning routine. Normally, Freddie and I would get up, we would go work out, and then because the twins wouldn't have to go to school or get picked up until 7:40, we would have plenty of time. So now we don't have time. And if we want to make sure that we work out together, we're going to have to take the time and make the time and get up a little extra early, which means we have to be at the gym by 5:30 in the morning to be back at the house before 6:45. So there's a lot of moving parts that we have to figure out, and we're going to do that. However, I did work out today. I didn't work out yesterday. I work out 6 days a week for the most part, and have gotten into a routine that even when I travel, I work out. And so when I went to visit one of my girlfriends in New Jersey, I was like, okay, you're not gonna work out because technically Sunday you don't work out. And she's like, oh, I bought my shoes because I didn't know what you wanted to do. I didn't know whether you're gonna make us get up and walk. And I said, oh my God. But I just thought about it because I'm so consistent about working out, is that even my friends who I travel with come prepared to do something because they know that I'm going to do something. So it's really about consistency, but that's not what I want to talk about today. So what I want to talk about today is, are you experiencing life and people as a clip or in full context, right? So we are in such a social media Insta society. Like, we have the attention span of a gnat because of social media. Things come and things go, and we watch a lot of highlight reels, and people put together these clips of life, and we tend to experience things in a clip. Like, you may see my social media and be like, oh my gosh, she lives such a wonderful life and it's all perfect and there's nothing wrong. Let's keep it real. Let's pull yourself out of delusion. My life is no easier than anyone else's life. It's just how I choose to deal with the things that come my way that are not necessarily positive or beneficial, right? But sometimes when people see me, all they see are the clips and the highlight reels. Like yesterday I went live, I was so excited, but then I went and took a nap, right? Because I was tired, being up early. And then it was like, I kind of gave you a play-by-play of my day. I was like, this was anticlimactic, right? Because the first day of school doesn't mean the same thing to me as it meant when all 4 of my kids were home, or when they were younger and they just wear me out during the day. Now I only have one who just wears me out when he gets home. The twins, they're not concerned about me. But you may see a clip of someone's life, but you don't always have full context. And sometimes people judge people based on a clip and not on context. Like, I was thinking, I took a picture of before, my kitchen is a mess. That's my reality. I have 3 kids who just drop stuff, don't pick them up. And my house does not stay clean 24/7 like a model home, like I would like it to be. But then the next picture you saw was the kitchen was immaculate. I had put away the dishes, wiped down the counters, swept the floors, sprayed the cabinets, and cleaned off the stuff on the stove. And, I cleaned it. But all you saw was the before and the after. You didn't have full context of what actually happened, right? Because you didn't get a chance to experience the full context so that you could see that, no, it's not an Insta thing. It's not, oh, she took a picture and then maybe 15-20 minutes later the kitchen's clean. No, I was cleaning that kitchen for close to an hour and a half, right? Because I get distracted, start cleaning something else, gotta find what I'm looking for, go down the rabbit hole of cleaning, and then it's still not completely clean because I didn't clean the microwave and I didn't mop the floor. But I did I cleaned off the tables, and so there's a whole bunch of stuff that sometimes we don't see that is happening in life. But when someone posts or when you see them in person, it's all good, right? And life is not that way, because the clip that you may see is totally different than the context. You may see that I've lost weight, right? But the context is that I got to work out 6 days a week, and that I can't eat like I used to eat, and I have to be more diligent. So that changes the process of what I do. And if we want change, if we want to be in a different space, you have to look at things in its full context, and you have to experience the context, which means the little details. It can't just be something happens, I want something to be better, and then, oh, it's better. No, you got to put in the work. It's the same thing about me traveling. Context is, it takes me some time to figure out where I want to go. I have to research the flights, then I have to read all the Google reviews, and then, then I actually have to go on the trip, and I have to experience the trip. So, and I got to get on the plane, and I got to get my luggage. You don't see all that. You see the pretty pictures in Cairo, and in Luxor, and in Belize, and Costa Rica, and all that stuff. So you don't understand always the context, but you only see the clips. So I want to encourage you today, having said all this and giving you different examples, and even, let me give you even another example, relationships, right? Freddie and I have been together for 32 years. I met him when I was 18 years old. We have been married for 26 years. We have experienced a lot in our marriage, right? But what you tend to see is what we show you, right? Only the highlight reel. We're not gonna post an argument, right? We're not going to tell you every detail of our relationship, and because it's none of your business. That's number one. And number two is that my mom gave me really good advice when we first got married, because the first thing that I wanted to do, or we wanted to do, when something happened in our relationship, is that we wanted to discuss it with our parents and, tell them what was going on, because that's what we had done our whole life. You got a problem, go talk to your parents, right? And my mom said, let me tell you this, I don't want to know. She said, I don't want to know, because you all would have worked it out and would have moved on. And then I would be left feeling a certain kind of way about Freddie, right? Or you. And I don't want to have that burden, right? Because you're going to work it out and you're going to move on. My mom told me that at the beginning of me and Freddie's marriage, and I have never gone to her with anything as it relates to my marriage. And she was right. We worked it out, right? She didn't have to feel a certain way. She told me, she said, I'm gonna take your side. You're my child. I'll tell you if you're wrong, but I'm gonna still be on your side. And she was right, because I didn't want her feeling a certain kind of way, talking about my husband behind his back, or thinking a certain way because he did something to hurt her child, or, and I've already moved on. We've already worked it out. So she's not privy to the context. She was only privy to the clip, right? It's just like if you have a friend and y'all have a disagreement, and you go tell another friend and you're only telling her a clip, but then she's not privy to the context of what really happened and then what you did to work it out. So even in relationships, we may be in a picture together, but we could be not together, and you would have no clue, because you don't understand the context. And when you start to take the time to understand the context of what you're dealing with in your life, and don't treat your life as a clip, right? Because it's not a clip. And a lot of times we want our life to be this highlight reel of this clip, right? But you can't get to the highlights until you do the work, right? Yes, I want to have a flat belly, but if I let Freddie go to Wawa at midnight because we're breaking a fast, and I eat steak and cheese Doritos and some chocolate chews, I'm not gonna have a flat ab. So, Tasha, why are you saying all this? I want you to focus on building up the context of your life, the daily work that leads to all the highlights in the clips. I have to work out 6 days a week if I want to look good in my swimsuit in Turks and Caicos in December. And that means I have to stop eating all the junk food and self-sabotaging my workouts. If I want to finish these books, I have to sit down and type them. And that's not the sexy part. That's not the glamorous part. That's the work. If I want my marriage to work, I got to go to counseling. Not just couples counseling, but counseling for myself. And then we got to go to counseling together. And that means my husband got to have counseling. And then we have to have a circle of support that encourages us. You have to put in the work, right? You are not always going to be privy to people's context. You will only be privy to their clips of what they want you to see out of their life, right? I have people who think they know me because they see me on social media, but they have no idea who I am. And, but I am consistent. What you see is what you get. I try to be as transparent as possible because I know that we all need a level of encouragement that we don't necessarily get, or we don't have that person that we can talk to. Thank God I have a person. Oh my gosh. I have someone that I talk to every day. Every day she talks me off of a ledge, and then I have to talk her off of a ledge. So it's a reciprocal, mutual relationship that we have. And I have other people that I don't go to every day, but that I can go to and talk to. And then I'm that person for so many people. And it's not in a clip. So you have to remember that it's great to have those clips and those highlights and those moments in life that you've worked towards, but you gotta cherish all the context, all the work that created a habit of sustainability. And so that if something happens to you, you can bounce back. It may be a struggle, but you're resilient and you've worked on yourself and you've taken care of yourself and you have poured into you. But speaking to the Holy Spirit the other day, right? And I am going through. Yeah, I go through too. I am going through. And sometimes I feel like God is really not filling me in the way that I need. Like I'm filling my cup. Why do I feel empty? And he very clearly said to me, it's not that I'm not filling your cup, and it's not that I'm not giving you what you need. Your vessel is bigger now. It takes more for you to get full. And so that means that you have to spend a little bit more time with me before there's overflow to bless other people. When you have a smaller cup, that overflow is quick. God will pour you and the overflow comes out and you can bless other people. But when God makes your purpose bigger, right? And you start walking in that thing, you got to spend a little bit more time with him in context and not just a clip, not just on Sunday, not just listen to one service. I mean, you got to read your word. You got to fellowship. You got to pray. You got to meditate. And sometimes it's just going to require more time to get to what you want. And so God clearly told me the other day, your vessel is bigger now. I can't put new wine in an old wineskin. Why? That's out of the word, because it'll burst. So I've given you a new wineskin, and it just happens to be a lot bigger than it was before. So you're going to have to spend a little bit more time with me to get full before you will experience the overflow that you're used to. And that's going to take time. The context takes time. The clip is a highlight reel. But in order to get to the clip, you have to do the work. And the work that I'm talking about is the work on yourself. Like, what are you doing to take care of yourself? How are you feeding yourself? What are you doing for yourself that if everything goes to hell in a handbasket, you're going to be okay? Not saying that you're not going to hurt. Not saying that you're not going to experience pain and there's not going to be some residual trauma. But at the end of the day, are you going to be okay? Because you're doing the work. And you're not just focusing on the clips and the highlights, but you're focusing on the context. Sometimes things have totally different meanings when we understand the context. So I hope that helps. That was just what was laid on my heart today, and I wanted to share. And I hope that you guys have a great day.